Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Club Success Strategies webinar. I'm Aletta Rose-Shah, your International President-elect. I'm so excited to be here with you today to get some club growth and engagement ideas and inspiration from our experienced Toastmasters panelists. During the webinar, you'll be able to submit your questions using the Q&A pane. And for the last 15 minutes of the webinar, we'll bring many of these questions into the conversation. With so many attendees, however, we may not be able to answer all the questions, but we will do our best. So thank you in advance for your patience and understanding. While you will not be able to speak out loud, we encourage you to use the chat feature to share where you're joining from, as many of you have already done, and chat courteously with fellow attendees. Please keep in mind that our team is focused on answering the questions posted in the Q&A pane and not in the chat. This webinar is being recorded, and you will receive an email in a few days with a link to the recording. Now I have the honor of being your moderator, and I am excited to introduce our first panelist. She needs very little introduction. It's our very own Toastmasters International President, Roddy Spear. Roddy is a charter member of her home club, AT&T Middletown Toastmasters. When corporate layoffs caused a decline in membership, she worked with the remaining members to rebuild the club, an effort that earned them the Phoenix Award, an honor once given to clubs that made a strong comeback from adversity, which is no longer awarded today. Now her club is one of the top performing in New Jersey, achieving President's Distinguished status for 16 consecutive years. The second panelist with us today also needs very little introduction. He is the 2005 World Champion of Public Speaking, Lance Miller. Lance is an award-winning speaker and trainer who has delivered over 5,000 speeches in over 80 countries. A 33-year Toastmaster, he was part of the team that built his home club, Renaissance Speakers, to 95 members in 1999, helping it rank as the #4 club in Toastmasters globally. Renaissance has been a President's Distinguished Club with all 10 points for the last 25 years. Our third panelist is Denise Senelt-Katalilioglu. Denise is a learning and development consultant, an executive coach, and an inspirational speaker. A Toastmaster since 2007, she earned the Distinguished Toastmaster designation in both 2014 and 2020. She played an instrumental role in developing Toastmasters in Turkey, supporting the founding of more than 15 clubs, and has also served as a club coach for 24 clubs and as a certified mentor for 44 members. Welcome all. Now let's dive into some club success strategies to build and showcase essential skills. I hope you feel inspired to try some new to you ideas after this webinar. Lance, I'm going to start with you. When you walk into a thriving club meeting, what are the first things you notice that set it apart?
Well, a couple of things I noticed. First of all, the meeting is set up. It's like you're arriving someplace that is not just a group of people getting together. There's a system, there's an energy. You're in a program when you come into it. Usually it's got a good venue. The meeting starts on time. The meeting runs on time. The meeting ends on time. People know their roles in the meeting. And you don't have people, and I've seen this over and over, which we'll get into, but you don't have people stand up, like a president stand up and talk for 15 minutes with no message. Things are moving, and the whole focus is on getting people in the Toastmasters program. And it's like a baseball team or a football team, and everybody knows they're playing the Toastmasters game. Those are the things I see when I come in to really a successful, thriving club. It is acting like a club, not a group of individuals that just got together.
Thank you. Roddy, what do you see when you walk into a thriving club meeting?
I agree with what Lance said, that when you walk in, it's all set up, they're following the agenda, the roles are filled, it starts on time. And I also like to see pride in the club. They usually have their banner up, it has all the ribbons, because I want to join a club that's successful. When I see that pride, when I see that, that makes me want to join. So yes, it starts on time, ends on time, and people are having fun because our program is fun.
Thank you. Denise, what comes to mind for you?
Directly long-time members. Because if I see long-time members still active, taking roles, showing up in the meetings, then I start to feel, there should be something here. There should be something valuable that these people are coming over and over year by year, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years members. When I was in trying to develop the clubs in Turkey, when there was only one club at first and there was no clubs in Istanbul, we didn't have opportunities to take examples of. So I was traveling due to my business, and wherever I go, I was being a guest to a Toastmasters club. And what amazed me most of the time was all those long-time members showing up and sharing their experiences, contributing to the newer members. And if a club cultivates their long-time members and retains them, that means it's really a very well organized organization is going on there.
Thank you. We often have clubs that are struggling. When you were in a club struggling with member retention and growth, what worked for you? Roddy.
Right. So, Aletta, you mentioned in the introduction how my club got the Phoenix Award. So, when there were layoffs, we fell to about 6 members, of which 3 were past district governors who had helped charter the club. So, there were only 3 of us who actually met in the room. And initially, one would give a speech, one would evaluate, one would be table topics. It was very hard to keep the club going with 3 people. And this was in a corporate setting, so there was just glass around, so people could look into the meeting and just see 3 people. So we wanted to look like a successful club. So I begged my friends to come and sit there just to make it look like there were people there. One person, his daughter was an intern, so he got her to come and sit with us. And the other person, her father was a former Toastmaster, so we would sign him in. And we had a big sign on the door, Toastmasters in progress, guests are welcome. And then with just more people, it became more fun. And then some of our audience agreed to take part in table topics. But we grew it very slowly. It was hard. And the lesson I learned from that was marketing, making sure that people knew there was a club in the building, that there was something there to help them with their careers. So that was a key takeaway, but we built it up slowly that way.
Thank you. I think it's so important for corporate clubs to market themselves within the organization. Lance, have you got experiences with a club struggling with member retention? What worked for you?
Yeah, my club, when I joined, we had like 35 members in it, and we had like 12 coming to the meeting 6 months later. And I always like to say, I like to think that's not because I joined. But what it really, to look at it, we decided, we had a failing club and we were trying to decide whether to keep it or not. And we decided to be a top 10 club. And that was back when Toastmasters ranked all the clubs back in the 90s. And when I look back on that, it gave us a purpose. And what I see in a lot of clubs, they don't have a purpose for growing their club. It's very easy to get caught in this week-to-week time continuum in Toastmasters. We go from meeting to meeting to meeting. We don't feel like we're going anywhere. When we decided to be a top 10 club, we started focusing on the member improvement and getting members to win with Toastmasters and getting members to do the Toastmasters program. And what I saw was really the hallmark of Toastmasters is the improvement in the individual. And we got people winning with Toastmasters, our club started to come alive because people started to come alive.
So when there are clubs that are having trouble having enough people in the meeting, the main key point is never cancel the meeting. As Radhi said, even there are 3 people, we should do the meeting. Even there's no prepared speeches, we should do a table topics, because the people, the members or the potentials should know at that date, announced date, there will be a meeting. If you start canceling it because there's low attendance, then people start to think, probably it will be canceled last minute, so why should I put it in my agenda? So it makes it worse and worse. So one tip, never cancel the meeting. And again, out of what reminded me from Radhi's words, when people are laid off, we should remind them their membership stays till they renew it to the new renewal time. So they don't need to go to their previous jobs company's corporate meeting, but they can join any other Toastmaster meeting which is open to the public. And this way, at least their membership will continue.
Thank you. We often hear from officers who are struggling to connect with prospective members and grow their club. What are your top recommendations for them? Roddy, let's start with you.
Yes, so we have stats from World Headquarters where when they send you a potential member is interested email, over 70% of those emails are not answered. So the clubs are not responding to the requests, and less than 10% are converted into members. So we need to make sure our officers are aware that these emails are coming in. And recently they started a prospective management membership tab in Club Central for the club officers to see. So if one club officer misses it, the others can see it. In my club, when we respond, we make sure we CC the other club officers. So in case the VP membership is away on vacation, somebody else takes over and responds. And with this new tool, you can just do it right there. You'll get all the information. So it's very important because when someone shows interest, you have to jump on it, because it's like, if I want something, the latest iPhone, I want it today, and now 2 weeks later, right? People are showing interest. So let's respond right away. And we also keep track of all the people who showed interest. So if at all later on we have an open house, we have all that information to contact them.
Thank you. Lance, what comes to mind for you?
Well, we have to understand we have a system going, and just like in a sales or a business, any organization, if you have a guest come in, that's potential business for you. We want them to be a member. We need to make sure we run enough control. So one of the things we do is we ask our members at the end of the meeting to stand up or turn their Zoom on, depending on the meeting, and tell us what they thought of the meeting. And we usually get feedback where it's positive. They might like to be a member or something. We follow up immediately with them. If we're meeting in person, we usually will meet them just after the meeting. If it's on Zoom, we'll set up a time to talk to them, but there's an immediate follow-up with them to find out where their interest is. We express interest in them being a member. And here's the key point: if they're interested. If they're not interested in being a member, I don't really want them in the club, because they're going to be a disinterested member in a club. And who wants a disinterested member in your club? It has to be something where they see value. But the point, just to keep this succinct, is you've got to keep the control in and not just let that person walk out the door and never be heard from again, because they go, well, nobody seemed to care about me on it. And so one of the things I do too, when I talk to them, I say, what's going on in your life? Do you feel you benefit from a program like this? What types of things with communication are you struggling with? And usually I get them coming out going, yeah, I'm very frustrated. I can't get the job promotions I want, or I'm nervous interviewing somebody, or whatever that comes up, and they have a need and a desire. And once we start to get into that, we get into some firm ground. We can talk about how the Toastmasters program will help them. But the key thing is keep them in your system. And just to back up what Roddy was saying, we have a huge email list. We never take anybody off the email list unless they ask. And so we have people, and we had a lady that came back 12 years later, and she said, I get your emails. So you never know. Okay. So
Always assume they want to come back. Denise, what comes to mind for you for contacting prospective members?
I would like to build upon what Lance was saying. The personalized attention is retention. So we receive emails that people are interested in Toastmaster. And most of the time, we tend to explain, oh, Toastmasters is so good in this way, and we do this in our club, and in our meetings are like this, and so on and so on. But even in this first email, we should be asking them what they do, who are they, where did they hear this from? And then even the email should be short and back and forth kind of email. So not in the first email that we received, they're interested, long email with a lot of details about Toastmasters and our own club and our own meetings, but short, that's great that you're interested. By the way, like, where do you live? What do you do? Why, where did you hear it? Why are you interested? And then again, after their reply, a short answer on top of that, why this club and why Toastmasters is good for them specifically. So as personalized as possible, and really giving attention, showing that we are attentive to them. And this will make them be interested and come to our meetings. And also, another point in the meetings, especially, showing appreciation to the older members, like to retain them, and to the newer ones, showing appreciation, whatever they do. Maybe they showed up after the first emailing. So we can appreciate that they really take the leap and just came. And showing appreciation even to someone else gives the message to the others, especially to the newer people. This club, this environment is a psychologically safe place to be. It appreciates people, and that makes people more interested to come and be a part of it.
Thank you, Denise. So for those watching this webinar today, just a reminder to check your club contact and meeting information on Club Central. Make sure it's up to date, because that's how people find you. And test it out. I'm a great believer in the mystery guest. Get someone to send a message to your club and see how soon you respond, because often we think, to Lance's point, that we have a system in place, but until we test it and really kind of have a good look at it, maybe it's not as good as we think it is. So test it out. And if you haven't been on that page in Club Central yet, go and check it out. It's a fantastic way to bring leads into your club.
I want to throw something back to what Denise just said. What builds membership is a dynamic club experience. And you have to have something worth joining. And I give the example, if you went to a new restaurant you've never been to and the food's bad, the dishes are dirty, and the service is poor, you're going to come back. No, you're not going to come back. There's a lot of Toastmasters meetings that the food's bad, the dishes are dirty, and the service is poor. You need to have an organization worth joining. And I'll just tell you, we get so much. We have excellent speech evaluation. We call it coaching instead of evaluating. We call it coaching in my club. People join because they see the coaching, because they realize they can become better when they get the feedback. And so having that dynamic experience, to your point, where they realize I can improve my life if I'm here. And the last thing I always want to say, I always address their interest in the club. Not like, oh, we're so interested in you. No. Do you see you could benefit from this? What did you think of your experience here? Is this something you would like to do? Address their interest in the club 90% over your interest in them. Make sure they're interested in joining your club. Those are the type of members you want to get in.
Thank you, Lance. Just an interesting statistic. Part of the prospective member management page is an online membership application. And the data we've collected is that before the launch of the prospective member management page, it took an average of over 100 days for a person to join. That's 3 months, over 3 months. And when clubs use the online member application from that PMM page, joining takes an average of 26 days. So from 3 months, it comes down to just over 3 weeks. So that's a real good incentive for all of us to use it. Let's talk about open houses and special meetings. What can you do to make these meetings and events irresistible to prospective members? Roddy.
Yeah, so in my corporate club, I had the opportunity, when I heard there was an all hands meeting in this huge auditorium, to get 10 minutes to present Toastmasters. And also from Toastmasters International, I got a list of all the AT&T clubs in the country, and I was surprised to learn that at that time there were like 26 clubs. So when they broadcast that all hands meeting to all the people in that department, I could say, look, if not in New Jersey, in all these parts of the country, we have clubs. So make it available to them, show them the value in Toastmasters, and give them that opportunity to join. And what Lance was saying, coming back to one more point, was when people come to the club, we are building a community. We are people there to help each other. And when they feel that, oh, wow, this is so supportive and helpful. And in my club, we ask them to take part in table topics if they're willing. They're so surprised, like, oh, you're going to ask me? I just came to watch. And we're like, no, this is not a spectator sport. You want to improve, you got to take part. So that's how I did it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Denise, what about open houses and special meetings?
Especially special meetings are great opportunities to show Toastmasters to the outer world and the potential. The biggest key that I saw working so well is collaborating with other parties, like other NGOs. Not only Rotary, with Rotary we have the alliance already. So using them and doing some things with partnership with them is always great. Maybe having a speaker from the Rotary, someone valuable in the business world, kind of. But also beyond Rotary, like JCI, or some local organizations related to environment or women, or whatever you can think, the powerful NGOs of that local community, of that country, for example. The more you can include others, the more you reach their network as well. So that will bring a lot of power in the event. Besides, your longtime members, or your own members will benefit from these new people, new perspectives, and new connections. They can build up on those possibilities, on those moments that they meet with these people. And later on, either they can be new members of their clubs, or they can open possibilities to your members for their own business, own life. So there will be a win-win for a lot of people, and this will make the event more powerful. Also saying that collaboration, not only collaborating with others, but also organizing the events, collaborating with others, other clubs, other areas will enhance your hand. So people will see, the members will see the network beyond the club, the network in the area, the network in the division or the district. And this will be really opening up their minds. So they will be more eager to attend COTs. They will be eager to attend area contests, or division contests, or district conferences, and even international conferences maybe in the end.
Thank you. Lance, when it comes to open houses and special meetings, what tips do you have regarding the marketing of those events?
Well, I think the first thing you have to have is you have to have the whole club bought in on it and actually enthusiastic about it. Most people join Toastmasters because of a personal referral versus a lot of blind marketing material. We do surveys in my club about every year on how did you get in the club, and it's all, I think 90% of the people were invited to the club. So that's what I look at now with social media and email and stuff like that we have now. We have a lot broader reach that we can do. But one of the things in marketing anything, I'm going to come back to the fact you have to have something worth joining. You have to have a meeting worth coming to. You have to have something you're presenting, not just an open house, but maybe you're working on your elevator pitch, or we're going to tell you how to write a speech in 5 minutes. Or let's just say, as an example, you have a special speaker is coming. Now, if this isn't going to happen, but if Brad Pitt was going to come speak at your Toastmasters club, do you think you could get some people to attend? Yes, because he's a known entity. But I think like the winner of the district humor speech competition, the winner of the table topics competition, the winner of the speech evaluation, the winner of the international speech competition should be invited to clubs. And we say, we have the top funniest speaker in the district coming to our club this week. Come to the club. Or we have the person who can think on their feet faster than anybody else. Come listen to how they do that. And here's the key. Instead of inviting them to a meeting, we're inviting them to the meeting. I want you to come to this meeting. The other thing, Arleta, I want to talk about that was very successful for us is a lot of people, and I think we all know this, we didn't know what Toastmasters was until we got in Toastmasters. And I always say if we learned about it earlier, we would have joined earlier. So I recommend, we got so many members from having parties outside the club because we'd have a Halloween party or a New Year's party or something like that. We'd always get people that came to our club after the party. So I'm just saying you have a wine and cheese party every other month at somebody's house. They don't know what Toastmasters is, but they know what wine and cheese is. And then you just play a little table topics or something like that. But it's a nice introduction to everybody, and then you get them to come in. I actually have a whole on my website 6 ways to drive people into your club, a whole program I put together on. This needs to be a constant thing we're doing to generate new interest in the club. It's not something we hold a open house every 6 months and we build our club. Club building and membership building is a weekly event that we have to always be on top of.
Could I add to what Lance said, Aletta?
Go ahead, Roddy.
We in my club, we used to routinely invite the district winner to come speak at our club. And when they come to our club, we would choose a bigger room and invite all the past members who showed interest, people who want to come, new people, ads all across the campus, because we wanted to make sure that the district winner also got value out of it. And we even made special pieces of feedback that everybody wrote, what I liked about your speech, how you could improve, even people who are not Toastmasters, and gave that feedback to our district champion. And so it was a two-way street. Everybody gained from it, and we saw the world champion. The other thing, again, as Lance said, people don't know about Toastmasters. For me, every sweater, every jacket that I own, I have a Toastmasters pin. And then someone asked me, what's that pin? Hey, I didn't start the conversation. They asked me. Then I start talking about Toastmasters. So every chance I get.
Thank you.
And
Denise,
I would
anything you'd
like
like
to
to
add,
add?
yes, of course. I really liked how Lance said it's a continuous thing. And it's a continuous thing in the minds of the members also. Like if we can bring especially the local officers into that mindset, bringing people to Toastmaster is a mindset. It's not like, oh, this time of the year is coming, I should look for new members. But we have the gift. We have Toastmaster. We know it. And there's a lot of people who doesn't know about it. But if they would know about it, they would be happier. They would learn better. They would be able to apply a lot of things that they learned here. So why don't we share the gift that we have with whoever is possible? So of course I don't mean like making cold calls or just pushing Toastmasters to everybody, but even when I go to business meetings, like with my clients, I'm a trainer, so I go and do trainings to corporations, and I don't dump in Toastmasters right away to the faces of the management, but I try to give examples using Toastmasters in my curriculum, in whatever I'm trying to teach. And then at the coffee break, they're like, by the way, what is that, Toastmasters? So it's not like as a local officer, I have to talk about Toastmasters. I have to bring people in. It's more like being a part of your life, being a part of your who you are. You are a Toastmasters member. It doesn't change if you are in business environment or with your friends or if you're eating or not. Like these days, my dad is ill, so we are in the hospital on and off, and there are nurses taking care of us. And one of the nurse was saying, she's trying to develop her English, and as English is not our mother tongue here in my country. And I was saying, did you hear of Toastmasters? We have a club that, you can practice your English. And she was like, oh, really? What is the website? So in any moment, you can just bring it in. So it should be the mindset. It's a continuous thing, not only for clubs, for the officers and for every member.
Thank you.
I want to just throw out one thing. I was asked to join Toastmasters 8 times by one person. And every week he'd see me and he goes, you got to come to the club. We're having so much fun. And I went to the club for 2 reasons. 1, I wanted to see what he was so excited about. 2, I wanted to quit asking me to join Toastmasters. And I knew he wasn't going to quit until I went to the club. I went to the club, and I would have never gone to a Toastmasters club. But Glenn Barton, every week I saw him, said, we had so much fun. I want you to come to my club. 8 times. How many times we ask somebody once and go, oh, I don't want to bother them? No, love the club. You're having a great time. You want other people to have the fun you're having. And we sell the fun. We don't sell the incompetence that we have. We sell the fun we're having.
I like that.
And
Many
Aletta, to
places.
add,
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to add one more thing. You said to make sure the information is correct on toastmasters.org. Make sure your club information is correct also on your district website, because the people who need Toastmasters are shy and they're afraid to pick up the phone and call. So they just want to do their research online. And if they find your club and the information is wrong, then they can't get to your club. So make sure that information is correct as well. And I have so many ideas coming to my head as I hear Lance and Denise talking. My past district governor would tell us, my district was New York City and the surroundings, that if you're on the subway and you have a bad experience, go to your club and speak about it. It's like therapy. There are people there willing to listen, willing to talk to you. So go for it, because Toastmasters is there for you. They are your community, your family.
Lovely way of putting it. Many people around the world and on many cities are experiencing higher levels of unemployment. How could you use that fact and perhaps design an open house event for job seekers who could benefit from Toastmasters? Denise, let's start with you.
I think the clubs can use the theme of the evening very well for this. So they can design like months with two teams, two meetings with two different teams attached to one idea. And it could be an interview, for example. So this month could be the interview month. And the two meetings has the theme of maybe self-confidence could be one of them, persuasion could be the next meeting. So the meeting itself is dedicated to those skills that will be related or will help members or people in the interview. So with that frame, uh, the members who thinks they can make use of it will be more attentive to the meeting. And everybody who is preparing the table topics master, the prepared speakers, like they will be thinking that, oh, okay, we will be focusing on this for this month, or for this meeting we will be focusing on this. So they will come up with ideas related, and it will be helping each other and supporting each other on the focused subject. I think it's one of
Thank you.
the other thing. Let me say also one more thing. The evaluation portion of the meetings is very powerful for the business life. So if we can enhance it in a way that the evaluations are not only for the speeches, but like tying the evaluations to the business life. Like, okay, this what you're doing now, you can use it in your feedback in the meeting with your managers. Like, envision yourself not in a Toastmaster meeting, but sitting in the table with the head table of the top management in your company. Like, making people think in business sense as well while they are giving or getting the evaluation. It will translate into business success as well.
Thank you. Roddy, what comes to mind for you, especially in a corporate club setting?
Well, I think we can learn hard skills when we go to college, get a certification. It's the soft skills that make you successful at work, and you learn soft skills in Toastmasters, and we don't emphasize that enough. So when you're running a club contest, you're really doing project management. You're doing delegation, teamwork, collaboration, networking. I mean, all the skills that are needed in your day job, you're learning in Toastmasters without realizing it, and you're having fun. So it's not like you're studying to learn something. You're doing it without realizing. And we provide the training for club officer training, all the training needed to do well. So we have to emphasize to our potential guests and others that you're learning real life skills that you can use in everyday life, not just public speaking, so much more than that.
Thank you. Lance, how can clubs show prospective members how the skills they practice at a Toastmasters club will enrich their professional lives?
One of the things we do in our club is we actually have every member report each week on those members that spoke outside the club. And we make that part of our club culture. So we start the meeting off with usually a couple items, and then members that spoke outside the club, and we all stand up and said, I spoke here, I spoke here, I spoke here. And we say the reason we have this club is not to be a great Toastmaster. The reason this club's here is to help you be great at life and have the skills you need to succeed in life. We openly say that in every meeting, that it's not about being a great Toastmaster. And so that's one of the things I talk about. I constantly talk in my club that everything in Toastmasters, and I mean everything, is a learning experience. And we know that table topics is a learning experience. We know that learning how to give feedback is a learning experience. We know that being Toastmasters is a learning experience. But let's look at this. How many bad speech evaluations have you gotten in Toastmasters? Well, you know what? You learn how to get a bad evaluation in Toastmasters. And how many bad evaluations have you had from people in the world that tell you things that aren't true, or they're critical of you in some way? You learn to handle those things because people are learning how to be, not that everybody's trying to give a bad speech evaluation, but they're trying to learn how to give a speech evaluation, and they don't do a good job of it. Good. You start to separate out this ebb and flow of life because Toastmasters is a little microcosm of what life is, and what we struggle with in life, we'll struggle with in Toastmasters. When we handle it in Toastmasters, we don't struggle with it in life anymore because we figure out how to work with it. We figure out how to work with weird people in Toastmasters. There are some strange people that join Toastmasters. You know, they couldn't belong to any other organization in the world, but we accept them with open arms. And there's every time I had some strange member in my club that I went, what planet did they beam you in from? I would wind up running into that same personality on a job or at a customer's office or something. And I would go, oh, there's someone just like you in my Toastmasters club. I know exactly how to work with you. So the point is, you need to openly say these things in the club, that this is not about being great here. We're building life skills. To Roddy's point, these are the soft skills that we need to survive in life. And to me, Toastmasters is like going to the leadership and communication gym, because our leadership and communication muscles are very atrophied, and we need to start working them out and making them stronger.
Thank
Can
you.
I add to that? So,
Go
you know,
ahead.
my sister is a psychiatrist, and when she has patients saying, I get panic attacks, anxiety attacks, doctor, and I don't want to take medication, she tells them, join Toastmasters. And they come back and say, it works. It builds their confidence. They don't need to worry about taking medication. The other thing I'd like to say is I've had the privilege, being president, to visit so many corporations and give out corporate awards. And what upper management invariably tells me is, we know which employee is a Toastmaster. When they give a presentation, when they speak, they stand out. It's so easy to tell. And one last thing, when people come up to me, they don't say, oh, Toastmasters helped me become a better speaker or better leader. They say, Toastmasters changed my life. So this program really works.
Thank you,
And
Roddy. Denise.
one thing with a different angle on top of both is, don't keep your Toastmasters to yourself at the company, at the office. Just talk about what you are doing in Toastmasters. You just say, oh, after work today, I'm going to Toastmaster meeting. Or from the last Toastmaster COT training, I learned this and this and that. So make people aware, make the managers aware that you're a Toastmaster. Don't wait them to understand it from your presentation. I know a lot of engineers that, because they are showing off at their company talking about Toastmasters, they are assigned giving presentations about their projects. And then when they are assigned, when they get the chance, they showed, of course, what they learned in Toastmasters, and that opens them a different path in their business. So don't just talk about Toastmasters when you need to talk about it. Just talk about it in the coffee breaks, in the morning, talk about, last night in our meeting, there was this speaker. I learned this from them. And maybe in the company, they will ask you to come up with a training to the other employees. So you never know what doors can be opened from that.
Thank you. And for those listening after the webinar, we're going to be emailing you some resources to use and share that will help you, make all these links, for instance, how club officer roles build real world skills, and many, many more. So you can look forward to receiving that. When clubs say their meetings feel stale, what's usually the root cause and how do you fix it? Lance.
Well, they've lost their purpose. They've lost their energy. The thing we have to look at, it takes energy to live life. And life, the essence of life is imbuing that energy into the purpose you have. And when you are putting energy into something that has no purpose, you start to feel stale. The thing I see with a lot of Toastmasters meetings, they do the same meeting over and over and over. In my club, we always have themed meetings, and it's up to the Toastmaster to create the theme of the meeting, and the table topics is made on that theme. And a lot of the speakers will make their speeches about that theme. You can mix it up. We had a backwards meeting one time. Funniest meeting I've ever been through. We had to give the speech evaluations before the speakers spoke. Okay, the table topics, people had to answer the question before they got the question. It was hysterical, but it opened up everybody's creativity and sort of knocked them loose, because we can get very comfortable just doing the same thing over and over, where we don't put the energy into it because we don't have to create it. We know exactly what's going on. Mix it up and see what you can do. But there's nothing like, again, the personal life, emotional energy we bring to life And I see with this when coaching speakers, they stand up and they think it's the gestures and the words that they say. No, do they believe in the message? Do they have the conviction with what they're talking about? Do you believe in Toastmasters? Are you happy to have the meeting? Are you excited to see people? And even if you aren't, start making it happen inside you and get that energy going in the club. One of the other things that I've seen, fast moving meetings are fun. Okay. And meetings that drag on, the table topics master that takes longer to ask the question than the person to answer it. Those, and I see this stuff. Or they go, well, if I got the table topics master ask the question, the person answers and they go, well, I would have answered it this way. No, that's not what this is about. We have statistics on every section in our club. One of the things we rank the table topics master on, and we have a half an hour of table topics in my club, is how many people did they get up? And that's one of the things. We want everybody to do a table topics if they can in the club, because you're learning how to answer an unexpected question. And that's a vital skill for out in the world. So just to go on this, mix it up, put your energy into it, put the purpose of personal improvement back into your club. The reason we're doing this is to improve the lives of the members, and we get them to do that program, and their lives improve and they become alive. So we're sort of like church. We revive the dead, and Toastmasters is what we do. Bring people back.
The good way of saying it. Roddy, how do you engage and motivate current members and to get them to show up and participate in meetings?
Well, like Lance said, if the meeting is fun, they will come. But in our club, we make sure if anyone doesn't show up for a couple of meetings or more, the VP membership calls. And not just an email. Hey, we haven't seen you. What happened? Are you okay? So then suddenly they're like, oh, these people care. And we do. We really care because we are now a community. We want to make sure people come. So going back to what Denise said about when we started about not canceling a meeting. We never cancel a meeting because we are learning life skills. We need the work ethic. When you have a club meeting and guests may show, we always run the meeting and we always have a backup plan because life happens. I have a deadline. I was going to be a speaker today. In the last minute, I'm sorry, I can't make it. So in my club, all the club officers have one of those canned speeches ready, evaluate to motivate, or closing the sale, giving an introduction, all those better speaker series, successful club series, one of those canned presentations. And now the silver lining of COVID, worst case, because we have a screen, we can show a world champion speech or second place, and we have the evaluator evaluate, and all of us can learn by watching. So there's always a plan to make that meeting fun, and we always call up on missing members to find out why they didn't show, because we care.
Thank you. Denise, what's a simple change clubs can make this month that will have an immediate impact on member engagement?
I would like to highlight here the diversity. Our organization is very diverse, yes, with nationalities, but I just don't mean that. We are so diverse in our needs. Our members are so diverse in their needs. So the inclusion is very important, meaning that we should include even the most silent member in giving their opinion about what we should do next time in the next meeting. So it's not like just the officers who take the votes and become officers for this term to decide on what we will do. Really motivate and include everyone to put out there what they need, what they would like to see in the meeting, what they would like to see from their club that would make it more interesting, more engaging for them. And even though the people who are thinking this way would be way different than the others that way. And in some meetings, some people will be maybe more bored or not getting what they need. That diversity, that mood in the club will make everyone excited and interested in what will come next. And they would know that their idea will flourish one day. Maybe not this meeting, but the next meeting they can apply what they want to see. So making this possible, we will reach all what we need to energize our meetings and our members.
Thank you. So thank you. So go ahead, Clarence.
I just want to throw one thing in. When my club was failing, we were working to turn it around. We did a survey on the members and asked them what did they like about coming to the club, not why aren't you coming to the club. The number one reason people told us they love coming to Toastmasters was to have fun. The number two reason was to see their friends. And the number three reason was the improvement. And we realized we had stopped being a fun and friendly club. And we write our own policy in our club. And the number one policy we have to that point is to maintain a fun, friendly environment. And that can be tricky in a club because people give speeches that ruffle feathers. People give speech evaluations that ruffle feathers. People run meetings that upset people. We always return it to fun, friendly, and always return it to the purpose of Toastmasters is the improvement. It's a great place to fail. You know, people screwed up today. Hey, we love everybody. Let's go on. Maintain that fun, friendly environment is one of the number one things that I would look at is trying to really keep that club alive and something you can do immediately.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. We've got so many ideas and wonderful insights from our panelists, but I think let's go straight to the Q&A. We've got some really good questions. Roddy, this first one is for you. It's from Lisa. She said, how do you introduce Toastmasters to someone?
Oh, well, I tell them Toastmasters changed my life, like what everyone else tells me. I was so shy and quiet. I was always afraid to speak up. Toastmasters gave me the confidence. And I always tell them, look, this is not something you have to study or learn or there's an exam. You don't even realize it. You're having fun and you're improving. So come check us out. Come to the club and see for yourself. So I always invite them.
Thank you. Lance, this is a question from Nigel. He says, I'm 20 years old. How can I encourage people around my age, especially those who can't find a job these days, to come join my club? And please consider that there might be some of those who can't afford a club membership.
Well, first of all, I want to hit on this. There's a huge potential for Toastmasters with Generation Z. I'm working as a sort of mentor with some young people right out of college, and the lack of soft skills, the lack of ability to communicate personally with not not texting, the lack of ability to receive feedback, the lack of ability to be on a team. These are the things you learn in Toastmasters, and you just do a search on Generation Z, the issues they have based on the technology and COVID and everything they were raised in. Toastmasters is a direct solution to that. Now, the thing is that what I would be saying is these are the soft skills that you need to survive, to succeed in life. I would talk to them about what are your goals and dreams? What do you want to accomplish? And in order to do that, you need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to receive feedback from each other. You need to be able to run a successful meeting. These are the skills that you're going to need to be successful in life. That's basically, without having any more information you've given me. As far as not being able to afford it, Toastmasters is, if you can't afford Toastmasters, I don't have a solution other than the fact it is the probably least expensive personal development program on planet Earth. And it's ridiculously inexpensive. Have them borrow money from somebody or something. This is not like you can go pay $5,000 to Dale Carnegie for a 2-week course. You can't spend $5,000 in Toastmasters in 10 years unless you really work at it. So anyway.
Thank you. And Lance, somebody asked for your website address so they can get your resources, please.
Sure, it's lancemillerspeaks.com. And I have a number of free resources and a lot of training material on how to build successful clubs.
Thank you. Denise, this is a question from Jan. I'm currently president of a corporate club in Berlin. The company faces layoffs as well. It would be very interesting to hear actionable tips on how to increase awareness in the company, get people to join, and retain them.
First of all, it will be interesting if the company is a chain that it has somewhere else some branches, and if anyone already a member of Toastmasters in any other parts of their company. So we have UN Geneva Club, and now we are trying to found a new club for UN employees in Turkey. So we are collaborating with the existing other employees of the same organization. So similar way, if the company has somewhere another branch, it would be really supportive. But besides that, they can invite different speakers, different members from different corporations to come to their meeting and advertise it as so and so companies, this management level person is coming to our Toastmaster and will be speaking about leadership or whatever is more relevant to their company, and then really advertise it in their memo boards so that people will be interested, their own employees will be interested to come to the meeting to see something else, something different. And that would still enhance their view, their vision, and being there, coming there will add to their network. Try to advertise it in the memo boards, plus maybe the company would support sending emails, personalized emails to the all the employee list. I would recommend really working with the HR department, because if you can get the buy-in of the HR manager, or the HR department is supporting the organization's corporate club, then it's way easier to grow it and to get more members.
Thank you. Roddy, a question. This person says, my club is amazing, but we lack genuine connection. What do you think about building that authentic connection? Please provide any practical strategies.
I think one should be genuinely interested in each other. And when we give our speeches, it shouldn't be just, you should speak from the heart. That's why we all love, I think, icebreakers. When you speak from the heart, you really connect with people. You get to know the person. And so to me, I think the way we make the connection is that once we get to know each other and we are a family, a community, that's when we grow, because that's what human beings want, that feeling of community, and that's what we offer. So I think to be authentic would be helpful, and really care for the other person, because that works.
Thank you. Lance, this is a question from Michelle. Our club is known for its warm and welcoming vibe, yet we're stagnant at 17 members. Guests don't always return or join. We always follow up with guests and former members. What else can we do to convert guests to members?
That's a good question. I don't have all the information, I mean, on your club, but one of the things that a couple of things I would do is I would follow up with members and ask them why they're not joining. Because if you have this thing where you have a lot of, sorry, not members, guests, I would follow up with guests. And if they don't want to join, find out what they're seeing in your club that they're not liking, that they don't want to join it. It might be a warm and a welcoming environment, but it also may be a slow and lethargic meeting and there's no energy in it. I don't have the information on your club. One of the things that I would also make sure you do, every guest that comes, I would get them to participate in table topics in the club, because as Roddy was saying, this is a learn by doing program. And you need to, the best thing we can have is someone to choke on a table topic as a guest, because they realize they need Toastmasters. If they stand up and do a fantastic job, it's like, well, what am I going to get out of this club? If they're nervous and they can't get their words out, they know they need this from that standpoint. So I'm going to come back to what builds a club is a dynamic club experience. And that means the club's run on time, energy is high, the people are doing their projects, their speech projects, you're giving good evaluation through that. So people see the value in the club. And my guess is that guests are not seeing some value there that they feel that they would want to access. If they saw the value, they would come back and want to join it. I don't know, because I can't see what's going on with your club, but I think that I would start with asking the guests why they don't want to join, and see if you start to get a common thread on that, and that will give you feedback on what you need to do with your club.
Thank you. Denise, this is a question from Monica. Regarding visitors, how much should we push or follow up with the information provided? How many times should a guest be welcome to the meeting if they don't make the decision to join?
The rule of thumb, we try to let them come just twice, but if they need to experience a little bit more, maybe a third time is fine. But then if they think, oh, I can come and go and I don't need to be a member, why should I be a member? So it depends on the person. Again, it comes to the diversity. So specifically, that person might need a month to gather the money to pay for it. So it would be a different story. Or it might be a student, or it might be someone that's so busy this 2 months but then after the third month, they can, put it into their schedule. So it depends. But on the other hand, we need to be giving them ideas for future, like planning for, you can do your icebreaker in this month, and then the next month you can already start working on your second speech, and like give them a plan to look for something. And also you can tell them, by the way, by the time that this term is finishing, you would be already at the second level of your path, like, or in 2 years you can finish your path, so that you can be getting that certificate before you are thinking to be promoted to to the next level in your company. So understand the person and give them a hook related to themselves directly, and why they should become a member. So they can come and go, but they cannot do speeches, they cannot take roles, they cannot really benefit. And also, one of the good things is now we don't have the manuals anymore, but we have the e-learning. So people need their member number to get into the system. So just talk about that. A lot of resources for the non-members, that you can go to the website and read the magazine, look for a lot of things. But when you become a member, you will go to the special part for members, and you can reach more resources, you can learn more. So they give them something to look for, so that they will put it into their program.
Thank you. Roddy, there's a question from someone. We are a new club in the city and people are so eager to join and be members. As president, I'm afraid that if we accept a lot of them, then the members' growth will become slow in levels. In other words, they can only give a speech every 5 or 6 weeks. Any suggestions?
Yes, I had a similar situation where we advertised so much that we were over 50 members, and then there's not enough opportunity. I think this is a wonderful problem to have. I would try and ask you to form 2 clubs or meet on two different days. Because yes.
I want to
create more opportunities.
I want to jump in on this because I see this happen with clubs all the time. They're afraid to get too big. If you have a business and you have too much business, what do? You go turn people away? No, you figure out a way to deliver. My club went to 2 meetings a week to service our membership. Okay. And so have an extra meeting once a month if you need to do that. But open up your delivery to deliver to your membership. Don't start turning people away from your Toastmasters club because you only meet for an hour. Go to a bar on Thursday night and drink beer and throw peanuts on the floor and have 8 speakers on Thursday night. Figure out how to deliver to that membership and grow your club.
Yeah.
And some clubs do speech marathons. So instead of regular meetings, time to time, they do speech marathons so that the members can speak. And some clubs start being a weekly meeting club instead of bi-weekly clubs.
Mm-hmm. We have got so much out of these 3 panelists. Thank you again, Roddy, Lance, and Denise, for spending your time with us and sharing your ideas and your experience. We really appreciate the wisdom that you've shared. I wish we had more time, but unfortunately we're out of time. In the coming days, we'll send a recording of this webinar along with some resources to all club officers and district leaders. And we recommend that you connect with your team to discuss your takeaways from this webinar and plan your next steps once everybody has had a chance to watch it. Thank you for joining us, and we can't wait to hear about and celebrate your success with your club this program year. Thank you, everyone.